Hello. I'm hoping that the Wi-Fi will allow me to go live for at least 10 minutes today. I just wanted to give you some branding tips for your sewing business. Sometimes a sewing company will go through a rebrand, and that's what my company has been doing all of 2022. Because we moved from Ohio to South Carolina, and I kept the LLC name, and but the branding is kind of changing up a little bit. I still have customers, well, potential customers reaching out for memory bears, and that's just not something that I can do at this point. So my focus has been 100% on helping my sewing business students. And so hopefully the Wi-Fi sticks around for us and the microphone will work. I ordered a new microphone earbud, and it might be in tomorrow, so I will check the mail tomorrow. But so branding, whether you've been in business for a long time or not, if you're looking at the branding as a whole, just kind of keep that in mind. What helped me every year, whenever I would reassess my business or any of the businesses, I have different services under my LLC, and I kind of brand them a little differently. But I always go back to the mindset if I was a beginner. So this is kind of one way to look at these tips. Sorry. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't interrupting anything down there. There's a lot of people. I don't know if you can see. They're all like walking towards the pool and the beach. So, okay. So number one idea is always be yourself. What is it that you stand for, and who is your dream client? So write those questions down, write down your answers, and ask yourself, what do you want to be known for? I'm reading from my notes, by the way. And what do you want people to feel when they see, touch, or buy your products? Do you want to be remembered beyond that customer? Something that was up for discussion in a different group, not my group, but a different group, where they sew memory bears. Somebody posted a question to the group, and I think there's like 3,000 people or something like that in this group. And I don't think they're all active members, but anyways, do you put a tag on your bears or products? Some people said, no, don't do that. One person said their spouse had said, that's tacky, don't do that. And the majority of us were like, of course, you need to tag your products. Why wouldn't you tag it? I mean, if you are making a custom dress or something, wouldn't you put your product tag in that dress? What if you go buy a stuffed teddy bear at the store? They're all tagged with a company name, right? And maybe a copyright or a warning on that. Now, if you go through my playlist, you'll see where I make my own tags, and you'll see the legal mumbo jumbo that I have to put on there. And I have to say things like, this is not a toy, contains small parts, may be a choking hazard to children and pets, spot clean only. That's all on my tags for my memory bears and memory critters that I've made in the past. So I also have my name and my website on there. This is all important because just like a customer has told me in the past, she inherited memory bears from her grandparents. So you're talking, these memory bears are like 30 years old already. She said she obviously can't locate who made those bears for her, but she wished she would have at least known who it was, and the story behind how I don't know if the aunt had the items made for the parents when the grandparents died. I'm not sure how that all played out, but she wished she knew how her family came to know the memory bear maker of those bears. And so I told her, yes, I do tag everything, and I sent her a picture of the tag that I use. She said, "That's great. Thank you so much." She appreciated that. And so I tagged all of her bears. She had 4 bears made. And so just think about that when you're branding. Tag your stuff, right? You can still include a letter or note or postcard or something like that. But definitely tag where it's a permanent tag on your products. So think about that as far as branding goes. Do you have a logo? Do you have a certain text or font that you use? Do you have a different or like a some type of picture that you want to use, graphic? So think of all of that when it comes to your branding. Let's see here. Somebody said make really good photographs because those make a huge difference, and they do. You want a clear background. You want the picture to be clear and not fuzzy, and you want the colors to be true. Don't try to enhance the colors of your items because that gives a false testimonial, I guess, or false example of what you've worked with. Because let's face it, when you're making memory bears or memory critters, the fabric is worn for the most part. It's worn out. Sometimes there's holes in it or snags, stains. People want to see that because in the customer's mind, when they see this, if they're looking at memory bears that never had a flaw and they're looking at their clothes that might have worn holes or stains or faded, they might be thinking, you know what, maybe this person won't accept these clothes. I better go find somebody else. So definitely showcase what you make, right? And in the fabrics you work with, talk about the fabrics you don't work with. You don't have to work with everything. Some people love working with denim because they have an industrial machine that can handle that. If you use a basic machine like myself, I could not use denim. I would be busting the motor and needles all the time. So, think about all of that as well. All right, so another thing is about keeping all of your branding together. So when you package your items, think about the safety wrapping. Like, again, if you're a student of mine, you already know this, but if you look through my playlist, you might see how I package my memory bears and critters and blankets and purses and things that I make for people. They're always packaged with water in mind. I want everything to be waterproofed because it might be sunny and bright here, but it might travel through a tsunami before it gets to my customer. Cardboard gets soggy, so think about all of that. But think inside the box instead of outside the box for a minute. When your customer opens up that box, right? What do you want them to see? Do you want them to see a little note about how you appreciate their business, a little bit about how you started, maybe some business cards to pass along, a little treat or a thank you? I mean, the colors, you want it to be neutral and natural or really bright and sunny and cheerful. So think about the colors. Think about what's inside that box and what you want your customer to see and feel when they open that. All right, so think about that. So definitely think about your colors, right? You want to think about the fonts that you use, and you want to follow that through with your website, all of your materials, your packaging materials, your social media, graphics, anything in print. If you go to events and you set up, think about all of that and make it cohesive. You wouldn't want to have neon colors in your flyers and then muted colors on the website and then use all the colors for social media. Like that doesn't bring you to mind with a customer. You want to do your best with brand recognition. Think about fast food places. They have brand recognition, right? Even a child that cannot read knows where to get those French fries and the chicken nuggets because of brand recognition. So think about that when it comes to your sewing business. And then, of course, embrace changes. That's not always easy for us, is it? I know for me, when I thought about all the rebranding I needed to do because my company changed focus, it became a little overwhelming when I thought of it as a big whole project. And now I'm able to break it down into smaller steps. Again, one of the things I use, and I will always share this with you, is my business binder. All of these inserts are for sale in my Etsy shop. I use those. That's where I do all my brain dumping. That's where I do all my thinking. I sit down with my business team and we talk things out, get things done, get things moving. So definitely get help if you need it. Bounce some ideas off of other people. I do have a free Facebook group if you're interested in that, and a free newsletter at stephaniegrams.com. But just remember, change happens. Your original ideas might have been great when you started, but maybe they're not doing as well as you thought, or maybe you have added products to your services, or sorry, I get tongue-tied sometimes. Just think about where you're at today and what you want in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. So really get some ideas with your branding. So hopefully that helped you. A last tip is somebody recommends having 8 key colors in your branding. I don't know if I agree 100% with that. I think 8 is a lot of color. But again, you do you. You know what you want. Oh, somebody's not very happy. I don't know if you can hear that kid crying. One last thought. Branding can set you apart from your competitors. So really give this some thought, but don't get stuck on it. Honestly, don't. There are so many sewing companies that use black and white, and that's it. That is their color code. They just keep it simple and plain, and it works for them. So don't overthink this, okay? This is why it's really important to know who your ideal customer is. And on a side note, when you think of adding color or just keeping everything black and white, remember some people can't see color. So color does not matter to them necessarily. And it can even make it more difficult for them to read and to connect to you. So you might have customers that are colorblind. So keep that in mind when you're designing your website, your printed material, digital materials, and even the colors for your tags and things like that. So give it some thought. All right, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, and ring the bell, because I'm halfway to 1,000 subscribers because of you. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.